All right. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first webinar of 2025. I'm super excited. I'm super delighted to have you here. If you're watching live, let me know in the comment section where are you watching from. Hi, I'm hosting this live session from Lagos, Nigeria today, and we'll be talking about 7 steps to own your scam-free property in 2025. It is going to be a very interesting and enlightening session. I will be sharing a lot of details that you probably did not know before, and this is going to be very helpful for you. So, if you know someone who needs to be on this call, share the link and let them join in. All right, welcome. Keep the comment section buzzing. Let me know where you are joining in from. Now, in today's session, we have just one task. Okay, we are here to learn how to own a scam-free property in Nigeria, and this session is for you whether you're a first-time buyer or you're an experienced investor, you're in Nigeria, you're outside Nigeria, you will find the insights in this session very helpful. We'll look at the 7 critical steps. I will be breaking down everything so that you can approach your investment, your real estate investment, the purchase of your dream home, purchase of any type of property, scam-free. Emphasis on scam-free property. You will be able to do that with confidence. Fantastic. Now, my name is Tosin Omotoshi. I'm a real estate and business lawyer of over 17 years experience. I'm an author. Sorry about that. I'm an author and I'm the founder of Caris Legal Practice. I lead the team as Caris Legal Practice, and we are a property and real estate and business law firm in Lagos, Nigeria. We currently rank number one for property law firm in Lagos, Nigeria. Of course, definitely I'm a lawyer. I'm a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And we've had over 200 clients with a 4.9 Google rating. Yes, we have at Caris Legal Practice negotiated and helped our clients in real estate transactions worth billions of naira. And I'm a wife and a mom of two. And I am delighted to host this live session. All right. So, a few rules to help us get the best out of this session. Number one, make sure you have a pen and a paper. And this was for you, for both of those who are joining in live and those who will be watching the replay. And keep the comment section spam free, polite, and no promotions in the comment section so that we can have the best of times here today. Let me know in the comment section. I want to know, how excited are you to join this live session? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Drop the emojis and let me know that you are excited to join this session. All right. Now, what are we learning today? Let me run you through that. We'll look at common scams. What are the common scams? And these are scams that I have seen in my practice. I would be sharing what are the common scams, and then we'll look at these 7 steps, like I said: research, goals and decision, budgeting, the search, due diligence, the purchase, and secure your property. It's going to be a very detailed class. All right, so I'm expecting our comments in the comment section as we get started. Let me see your comments in the comment section. How excited are you for this live session? Let me see that in the comment section and let's get started. All right. I can see the emojis. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at some scams that I have noticed and that you probably have heard of that happens in real estate. The first would be fake ownership documents. Sellers presenting fake ownership documents, or sellers selling property they don't own at all. And I vividly recall one of the earliest cases I handled as a real estate lawyer when I started Caris Legal Practice, or someone wanted to sell a property to someone, and then I was engaged to do due diligence. And just a few questions, you will be shocked that this person had nothing to prove ownership. So maybe if he was talking to a non-lawyer, he might present something, but because he knew that he was a lawyer, he didn't have anything to present. Can you imagine? I know it sounds like you're probably going to wonder, is that possible? Yes, it's possible. The second is same property sold to multiple buyers. Like, this is very common. especially land. And it's because of the peculiarity of real estate. Real estate is fixed. So it's unlike I buy a phone or maybe this bottle, for instance, when I bought it, okay, it was actually gifted to me. But if I bought it, when I immediately I buy it, they would deliver it to my house. And I went there physically to get it, I would take it along with me. That's unlike real estate, you can't carry it. Okay, so that is one of the challenges that we see. Now, another issue. Another common scam would be sellers misrepresenting land boundaries. And this is why very important. When we talk about due diligence, we'll talk about how to tackle this kind of scams. So you have boundaries, boundaries disputes. So you have these neighbors who have disputes. Oh, my land sat here. You have encroached on my land. This is a very common. Properties with ongoing legal disputes also. So we have cases where people will sell property and the property has ongoing legal problem disputes. There's a case in court, or the family are fighting each other. The title is not even clear, and they don't disclose these issues. All right. So these are the common scams that we see that happens in real estate. Okay, then buyers unknowingly purchase land that is under government acquisition. This is very common. I had someone who unfortunately had even built on a property that was land acquired already by the government. Very, very sad story. But of course, today we are here to learn how we can avoid that. So, 7 steps to owning a scam-free property in Nigeria. Let's get started. All right. The first is to do your research. Now, I find it very interesting that sometimes um, people go into real estate, they buy real estate and they do not do any research. They do not do anything because when I interact with people who want to buy real estate, by the time I ask you 1, 2 questions, it lets me know if you're sufficient. Are you really ready for this journey? Because you can't invest in what you do not understand or have information about. And I am not saying that you're going to go on and become a real estate professional. Of course not. I know that you're a professional in your own field. But you want to invest in something, please, you've got to do research. Research is a very crucial step, the first step. So you want to understand, what does the property market in Nigeria look like? What are the trends? What are the unique characteristics of each area? What can you expect? What does the pricing look like? Oftentimes people say, oh, I want to buy a property, this is my budget, and I want it in this area, and I want this type of property. And I'm wondering, are you serious? Are you for real? Because it immediately tell me that you have not done your research. And that's why most people who will go and buy property that sounds too good to be true and then discover that it's a bad deal. It's because they didn't do their research. I mean, there's no way a property in an area is selling for 100 million, and then you get someone who tells you bring 50 million. Are you kidding me? And you think it's a good deal? No, please. This step would help you avoid that. Now, let's look at a few things you should include when you are doing your research. What's the location? You want to buy property in Lagos. All right. Lagos is there's island, there's mainland. On the island, there are many places. On the mainland, there are many places. So it's up to you to research and find out, okay, what are the things peculiar to these places? All right. What are the things that have been happening in these areas over a period of time? And trust me, see, it is very easy to do research. We will get to that, but it's very easy. The internet has changed a lot of things and made our lives easier. Another thing is to decide what property type are you going for. You want to buy a home? Is it residential? Is it commercial? Is it industrial? Or you want a mixed use property? Are you buying a home, or you want to buy a home that stands alone? Yes, like that's a fully detached duplex, for instance, or a bungalow that's also fully detached. Or are you buying semi-detached? Are you buying a terrace? Or you're buying an apartment in a block of flats? Are you buying an office space, or do you want to buy land? There are many options in real estate, and you want to really know, okay, which exactly am I going for? What are the market trends? What has the appreciation been like? And this is very key, especially if you're doing it for investment purposes, not just buying a home or land banking. So, what has the trend been like? And trust me, it's really easy to do it. Like I said, a simple Google search. Input into Google search, I would like to know what property, or ChatGPT, or any of this what do we call it now? AI tools. I would like to know what the property trend in Lekki Phase 1 has been like over the past 15 years. You would be amazed at the data it is going to churn out for you. And that will help you make your decision, and would provide you the necessary information you need for the research. All right. So you see, it's very important that you do the research. Now, the second step would now be defining your goals and making a decision. You've done your research, you've checked, okay, I think I want to buy in mainland or island, or I don't even want to buy in Lagos. I heard there are new emerging areas. You've done your research. Oh, I want to buy in Enugu. I want to buy in Ibadan. Not necessarily any of the places that everybody is going to. So if you've done your research, it's now time to narrow down what exactly do I want to achieve? And you get this done by asking yourself questions. So there's an adage in my language that says that the person who asks questions does not miss the road. And asking yourself the right questions will get you the right answers. So it's important that asking these questions is very key. So let's look at those questions now. Why do I want to own property? And as simple as this sounds and as cliche it might be, it's very important. Now, for someone, it might be I want a home for my family. For another person, it might be I don't want a home for my family. I'm not even in Nigeria. I want an investment property. All right. So your why is very important, is a very good, is a step, is the right question that pushes you in the right direction. Okay, the right questions that pushes you in the right direction. So now you then want to decide: are you buying land? Are you buying a house? Commercial property, industrial property? Your why would be able to point you to the answers for this. Is it for investment purposes, like I said, or is it for a home? Now, if you're going for investment, you might want to look at when it comes to investment, maybe you want to rent it out. And even when it comes to rental apartments or rental properties, there are also different types. So you have the leases where you want to buy properties that you can lease out for a long period of time, or it could be shorter tenancies, 1 to 3 years, or it could even be short lets. You could be doing it for residential purposes, it could be for industrial purposes, it could be for commercial. So you see that the options are so much. And if you're buying a home, for instance, you want to look at your lifestyle. Oh, we have um, a small family, or we have a family and we have small children. So what would be appropriate for us, considering the number of children that we have, the schools the children are, and our circle where we work, where the children go to school, what area would be what area would be best for us. All right. So answering these questions will then help you decide. Now, for if you're going for investment, for instance, is it long term? Are you doing the long term or appreciation where the property is there for a while until they appreciate, or do you want rental income? You want it to start bringing in money immediately, or do you want both? You can have both. Yes, you can have both. Okay. If it's for short terms, it means you're going to be looking at the areas already in demand that you would immediately invest in, and then you start getting returns via rental income. Or if it is for long term, that might be land banking. So those might be emerging areas. You want to look at other emerging areas that are opening up, that will open up in the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years, and are not necessarily very expensive now, so you can buy in bulk, and that would appreciate over a period of time. So you see, asking yourself these questions would point you in the right direction to let you know, okay, this is what works for me. Yes, so that is the second stage. Now the third stage, and this is very very important: planning your budget. I am a Christian, and there's a part of the Bible that says that anyone who wants to build a house will sit down and count the cost, so that he or she doesn't start and then discover that they cannot finish it. It's the same thing with real estate. And real estate, planning your budget will help you know, can I really afford this? Am I able to cover the necessary expenses? Because when you're buying property, it's more than just the price of that property. So you're buying a house, and the house your budget is 80 million. Your entire budget, you can't buy a property that is, you can't buy a house that is 80 million when your entire budget is 80 million, because there are ancillary costs that will come with that house. If you're buying land, for instance, and you want to build it immediately, you will know that your budget will also cover that. So let's look at, how do I create a comprehensive budget? And I'm not saying you're going to have a perfect budget. Of course, that's impossible, but we want to minimize the idea risk of you starting the entire process, and then you cannot finish it. You cannot do it up to a stage where you can stop. Because if, for instance, you buy a property, you can't afford documentation, that's very risky because without the documentation, you don't own that property. All right, now you want to estimate the cost. And the cost will include, like I said, the property price. You're using the services of an agent, you will have to pay for the services. Legal fees and other essential expenses. If you're buying building, for instance, construction is usually huge. So if you're building, you also know that you want to factor that into it, especially if you are doing it immediately after you purchase. Now you want to decide on financing. How am I going to finance this project? You might be getting a mortgage to finance the property. You might be buying and going for an off-plan arrangement where you buy and you pay over a period of time as the building is being developed, or maybe the or even if is land you are buying and paying in installments. All right, so you want to really know, okay, so if I'm buying land, it's 50 million. I've seen an offer where I can pay 30 million, or I can pay half now, and then I spread the rest over 6 months. So you know that, okay, I have half of that amount with me, and then I'll pay that over a period of time. But it's very important deciding on financing. How are you going to finance that project is very, very key. It's very important that you decide on financing. All right. So your budget is very key. I actually have a more detailed video on budgeting on this YouTube channel. So you can check it out after the session. I will leave the link in the description box below so that you can have a better idea of how to go about budgeting. So now you have done your research, you've decided on the property you want to buy, and you've planned your budget. Okay. Now is time to begin to search for the property that you want. It's time for the search. So you begin your search. So let me quickly state that this stage usually involves a lot of patience. Do you know why? Because when you are buying property, there are many factors that you would look at. Sometimes you could see, let's say you are buying land, for instance, you could see a land, you like the land, but you don't like the surroundings. Maybe you want to buy a house, you like the house, but you don't like the surroundings. And you know that when you are buying property, you're not just buying that property, you are buying it with the everything around it. So here are a few ways where places where you can search for the proper for real estate opportunities for properties. The internet has been so great, has been so helpful. The internet is so helpful, not has been so, it's still very helpful. Like you are watching this, for instance, and you are watching this online. The same way, even right there on YouTube, you can search for realtors, you can search for real estate companies, you can Google property listing websites and check their reviews. How long have they been in business? What do people have to say to them? Or you could even ask within your network. Okay. So it has become really easy to search for your property. So yes, we have searched for the property, and this is one stage that is very, 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 very important. You see that I'm stressing the very, very important. It's due diligence. Due diligence are all the steps that you will take to ensure that your interests are protected in a transaction. And in this particular case related to real estate, it means I want to buy real estate and I want to be sure that I'm putting my money to good use. I'm not getting into trouble with I'm not putting my money in a bad property, or a property that would lead me to trouble, or a property that will lose money, or a scam property. This is the stage. This is where you ensure that. Okay, now the first would be a physical inspection. A physical inspection is very key, and this will be done by you because, of course, you have to see what you want to buy. So, if for instance you are abroad or you're unable to inspect in person, you can get someone to do that for you. But by all means, inspecting what you want to buy is something that you should not skip over. Okay, so you are going to look at the property, the busy built properties, and you really want to take note. You want to pick up cues. Are there any signs? Maybe you see these X signs there, or this property is subject of litigation or something, something. These are the things you watch for. Okay, look out for the property condition and evaluate the surrounding areas. It's very important. And I usually tell my clients that before you even engage you should go and inspect first. It's after you've inspected and then you see that okay, I like what I see. This is when you now conduct due diligence, and that's done by a lawyer. So the legal due diligence is done should be done with the help of an experienced property lawyer. Engage a lawyer to do that. Why is this thing skipping on its own? Okay, now it's a critical step to ensure that your property is legally clear and is safe for you to purchase. It's very important. And typically, what would a lawyer do? What do we do when it comes to due diligence when you're buying a property? We would verify ownership, trace the root of title, and ensure that there are no legal issues. Now, there are many things that could go wrong when you buy real estate, but the things that would be most costly and oftentimes you cannot rectify are legal issues. If you buy a property, for instance, and it's overpriced, you might just wait, and it will take a while, but it will definitely catch up. But if you buy a property with legal issues, maybe a property that's been sold to like other people, a property that is under government acquisition, or a property that has the root of title is defective. And root of title means ownership. So the root of title means the tracing of all the past owners. Because you would, if there's any problem in their ownership, if you buy, you would inherit it. You're getting your own ownership from people who previously owned it. And I'll give us an example of the due diligence we recently conducted, where I think there were like two, three people who had owned it before, but one of the persons that owned it before, in fact, not the one of the first person who was the previous owner. The title was effective. Interestingly, the title was registered at the registry. And so the fact that the document exists as the registry does not mean that it cannot be thrown out in court if you have to go to court. And the true test of a property ownership document is, can it withstand all the rigors of cross examination? If there's any issue and I go and tender this in court, would the courts give judgment in my favor? And that was not the case in the case of this document. And if you're surprised to think, oh, I thought that once I could check something at the registry and the document is there, I thought that it was okay, it was good to go ahead. No, please, that's not true. I actually have a webinar I did a couple of months ago. I think I will leave the link below. Let me note that. Okay, that the document is registered at the registry does not mean that it's automatically safe for you to buy that property. Because it's not like the registry vets legally the documents to say, okay, this is falls within the purview of the forms of ownership that the law recognizes. But that's not the that's not we're not going into the details today. So a lawyer verifies ownership, traces the root of title, and ensure that there are no legal issues. And also to check, are there encumbrances, are there legal issues, are there claims of the property that will affect ownership? Because if there are any issues in the root, it will transfer to you who buys from that particular seller. So you would inherit it. And also, we will also engage a surveyor. So typically, this is what we also do: engage a surveyor, because we've had instances where this is a property, plot A is sold. A plot A, for instance, of a property is sold, but with the documents of plot B. So you think you are buying plot A, but the documents that were sent that you're verifying actually belongs to plot B. And why that is why engaging a survey is very key, because you want to ensure the location of the property. The location is what you are working on. So, and that's why typically a comprehensive due diligence is provided. That service is provided by a team of lawyers and surveyors. And yes, there are more details in the description below. So you have done the due diligence now, and then we will go to the purchase stage. But before I proceed, let me know in the comment section, how is the live session going? Is this helpful at all? Are you learning something new? Let me know in the comment section. I need your comments. And let me drink some water. Fantastic. Thank you. It's enlightening. Awesome. Awesome. I need more comments. I can see that we are quite a number here. One more comment and then we'll proceed. So we have very educative, fantastic. So we have two more stages. Remember, I said we were looking at 5 stages and we're looking at 7 stages, and now we are at the sixth stage, which is the purchase stage. Okay, and typically this is when you have done your due diligence and everything checks out. Okay, so typically due diligence reports could say yes, go ahead, this property is safe to buy. It could say yes, go ahead, this property is safe to buy, but take these following steps: one, two, three, four, five. Or no, no, it's a no, no. And of course, there will be reasons will be stated. All the supporting evidence will be attached. All right. So, but of course, it's very important that you're giving the go ahead from the due diligence stage, and then you can then move forward to close the deal. How does closing the deal work? How does you buying the property then work? Of course, payment. It's payment that is when you pay that the seller transfers ownership to you. So you want to agree on payment and the payment terms. Are you paying in full? Are you paying in installments? Is it a mortgage transaction? You want to be clear on that. Now, proper legal documentation. You cannot buy property and everything and is only oral evidence. I don't even want to believe that in 2025 that is happening. And it is not just about getting a document, it's about proper legal documentation. So, in my experience as a lawyer, and for the first 7 years of my practice, I've represented a huge number of real estate clients in real estate cases. And it is not just having a document to tender in court. And the reason why I keep mentioning court is not because I pray that you buy property and then you have to go to court. But we also have to be proactive. So my approach to legal representation and working with real estate clients is okay. This deal we are doing, if rubber meets the road, if anything happens and we have to go to court, would this be a good case? Are we going to win it? Do we even stand a chance? If we do not stand a chance, that document is worthless. And so it's not just about documentation, but having the proper documentation of that transaction that you are going into. It's very important. Now, the documents will be drafted, they will be executed. Executed means that they are signed by all the parties. The document should duly be signed by the seller, the buyer, and their witnesses. Okay. And yes, you should work with your professionals. I've had questions you right here on this YouTube channel to say, oh, I'm buying land, I'm buying from a company, and their legal team is handling everything. Do I really need my own lawyer? Yes, it's not just your own lawyer. And if you're using you're working with surveyors, you should get your surveyors too. Okay, work with your professionals to protect your own interests so that you have unbiased advice. It's very important. So you can get unbiased advice for your transaction. So work with your own professionals and then make sure that the documents are signed. Of course, this would be handled by the property lawyer to ensure that all the parties sign and everything is duly done. And yes, the seventh stage, I'm sure you're really wondering what else again. But the property is mine, I'm fine. Just this last stage. Secure your property. Secure your property. So you're going to take physical possession. If you're buying the land, for instance, depending on the volume of the land, depending on the location, if it's within an estate, this might not be necessary for you to maybe do a fence. But if it is not within an estate, if it's in an open area, you want to maybe do a short fence. So there's something physically different on the land, and people know there's been a change of guards. Yes, there's been a change of guards, or they know that a new sheriff is in town. You want to talk, if you have neighbors, you want to introduce yourself to your neighbors. And this tip, as simple as it sounds, reminds me of a particular case that we're involved in. The land was in Lekki Phase 1 and that got him into the very um, prime area in Lekki Phase 1. What happened was that the owner had his neighbor had a neighbor. The man had a neighbor. I don't think he was living in Lagos. But when he bought the land, he talked to his neighbor. Hello, man. I'm so and so, and I'm the owner of this land. If anything goes wrong, call me. And the woman exchanged they exchanged phone numbers, and that was what helped that man because the land was prone to encroachment as the place was opening up. But because the woman knew, okay, this is the owner, if there's anything went wrong, she'll call the owner to say, "Oh, I saw some faces here. Did you send anyone?" And it happened, and it kept the land for quite a couple of years before the owner got to then decide to sell. So it's very important, okay? As simple as it is, it's very important. You can build a short fence, you can do coaches around the land. Yes, if you're buying land for land banking, maybe hectares of land, which would you'd typically usually be buying that from the landowning family. You want to maintain a good rapport with the landowning family. In fact, they should just be the one just still monitoring things for you. You understand? Because that would be easier. They already know the terrain. It's just being street smart. So taking physical possession of land, that's how it happens. And if you buy land, for instance, because I know that sometimes you buy land from the companies and they will tell you that they are not going to do instant allocation. So, which is why at the point of documentation, these are the terms you have to trash out. So, when would the land be allocated? You want to know so you can take physical possession. For a built property, it's pretty easy. You'll be given the keys and pretty much that's it. Once you have the keys, you have access to the land, to the house. You could decide to change the locks and everything just for security purposes and perfecting your title. So perfecting your title is very important. Now, if you buy land, if you buy any property, sorry, not just land. I don't know why I keep using land. If you buy a property and the property does not have a certificate of occupancy on it yet, then you should apply for a certificate of occupancy. But the previous owner had a certificate of occupancy, what you would be obtaining will be governor's consent to your deed of assignment. And this is to perfect your title, just like the word is perfect your title. But please let me reiterate that perfecting your title doesn't remove any legal issues from the property, and this is why that due diligence stage you cannot joke with it. The documentation stage you can't joke with it. If you get it right at those two stages, it's easier at this stage because you've had people who had gotten these governor's consent or COO fraudulently, and when they went to court, it was thrown out. Yes, they got to throw it out. If you go ahead and obtain anything fraudulently, let's say for instance, the family is the one that owns the property, and then you use some unnatural or dubious means to obtain a certificate of occupancy, and the family can prove in court that they actually own the property, even with the documents that you have, you'll be thrown out. The ownership will be shown, and we have a lot of cases like that, a lot of decided cases, even decided up onto the Supreme Court. So it's very important to get that is why you will say that like we started from the very beginning so that we can layer on everything. It's the step by step stage. All right. So has this been helpful? Let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions, let me know and let me introduce to you this own a property challenge if you're ready to own a property. So please drop your questions as I go through the details of this challenge. If you want to own a property in 2025, even if you're whether you're new or it's your third, second, fourth, fifth, tenth property, you have a minimum budget of 30 million. You want to own it anywhere in Nigeria, and you want a scam-free property. And you need me and my team to hold you accountable, to guide you, to provide you expert legal advice through the journey and hold you accountable, then the own a property in a year challenge is for you. All right. And we've had a couple of people who have joined the challenge. In fact, we already have the consultation sessions booked. People have booked already. So what you get, let me run through that. What you get in the consultation in the challenge includes a 1 hour virtual consultation session. So we'll sit together in a consultation session and map out your personalized real estate journey. So you can know, okay, this is what I want to own this property. If you don't even know the property to own, don't worry, just come. We'll trash that out. Just don't bother your pretty head, just come. Now we'll trash all that, would give you'd have a personalized legal roadmap for your own property ownership for 2025. Now, in addition, you'll be getting comprehensive checklists, which would cover everything that you need to do you'll be getting them so that it's easy for you to just go back and just tick and say, okay, so this is the state that I am at. This is what next to do, and this is what next I should do. Okay. You will also be getting accountability checking. So yes, you have to stay on track, and this is for those who are very intentional. If you're not ready to follow the process, please don't join. We would be checking in with you regularly via email and sending you. You can always ask questions via email. Say, oh, I need legal advice. So I'm at this stage. What do I do? Okay. Now we have limited slots available, of course, because we are giving personalized. Because we are giving personalized. We're giving personalized guidance. So we have a limited number of people that we can take. So the challenge starts January 20th. Let me drop the link to the challenge here. Okay, the challenge starts January 20th and the registration closes January 19th. So it's actually closing this time next week. Yes, next week Sunday. And the registration fee is 400,000. So if you check the link in the description or in the comments, you can join the challenge. You can get all more details about the challenge. You can ask questions about the challenge. And in addition to the challenge, for those who will be watching this after the challenge has started, because once we close the registration next week Sunday, it's still 2026 by God's grace. So next fall will be 2026. We also offer other services. So if you need expert advice, to say I need legal advice, I I need clarity. You can book a real estate clarity session. Is to get you tailored advice on your own property purchase. You can also book our comprehensive legal due diligence and property verification. So this is for we offer these services currently for Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun states. And we offer them for properties that are 20 million naira and above. We also do real estate documentation, contract drafting, legal advisory representation, and real estate consultation. So you can book a consultation session. There's a link in the description, and you can use to check all the services that we offer, and then you can choose any of them. It's pretty easy. Go to our website, follow the instructions for that particular service, and yes, and reach out to me and my team. All right, I cannot see questions. I guess that everything is self-explanatory. So click the link in the description below for more information. Any questions as we round up? It has been an exciting time. Wow, we've already spent more than 30 minutes. That's fantastic. So how was the session? Did this session deliver the value that you expected? Let me know in the comment section as we round up. How has the session been? Yes, please. The city of O differs from governor's consent. So a property can only have a C of O once. And that's why I said when you buy a property and the previous seller has a certificate of occupancy, what you would apply for would be governor's consent to your deed of assignment. So it's different. They are different. They mean different things. Any other question? All right, so for those who will be watching the replay, feel free to also type in your questions in the comment section below, and I will be glad to answer them. So the deed of assignment is the document that effectively transfers ownership to you when you buy a property. So that's what a deed of assignment is. Remember, I talked about under documentation. I talked about proper legal documentation, which includes a deed of assignment, all right, contract of sale, yes, proper legal documentation, and you should also get a survey plan in your name. So I know that sometimes when people buy properties, they think, oh, the seller had their own survey. No, yours too is very important. So that's what the deed of assignment is. It's effectively the document that transfers ownership to you, and it has clauses that must be in it. It is not just a document that is prepared or drafted anyhow. Any other questions? You're welcome. Okay, fantastic. So yes, I can see. Yes, so we will look forward to also working with you. Any more questions as we round up? All right, so thank you for joining in today's session. I hope that the things that you have learned here are very helpful and you can proceed and invest in real estate like a pro. And I and my team will look forward to working with you. I have a lot of helpful information on this channel, a lot of videos that you should check out, a lot of resources too that you should check out. I'll leave the relevant links in the description box below. Thank you for joining in and enjoy your week ahead. Bye.